Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Happy birthday, America, 250. All right. So start off with Clerk Wright. Could you please call the roll?
That's Trustee Kelly. Have you heard from him?
I have not. Oh, actually, he did say he might be 5 or 10 minutes late with his daughter for some beginning practice.
Trustee Boyden? Here. Trustee Martin?
Here.
Trustee Frazier? Here. Treasury Bud?
Here.
The clerk is present. Supervisor?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Clerk. The executive summary today. Today we have a very short consent agenda, which includes the board meeting minutes, the prepaid lists, and the voucher lists. Basically, our everyday bills. New business includes discussion on the 25 annual audit. Big discussion. Discussion on the purchase of a 26 Caterpillar Model 308 excavator. Discussion on the selection of Great Lakes Contracting Solutions for the CDBG grant we got for Haggerty subdivision to put in sidewalk ramps. We're also going to have a discussion on a budget amendment for the Van Buren Township Home Rehabilitation Program that we'd like to start here. We have a discussion on amendment number 6 of the Great Lakes Water Association Water Service Contract, and discussion on the selection of Fishbeck to perform professional services for hydraulic analysis and contract valve commissioning for the township water system. Going to adopt the agenda, Treasurer Bud.
I make a motion, we adopt the agenda as presented with the addition of new business item number 7 to consider approval of the purchase of a parcel known as 83-110-01-0165-001, known as 585 West Columbia in Van Buren Township.
Okay, can I get a second? All right, Trustee Boynton. I have a motion by Treasurer Bud, supported by Trustee Boynton. Hearing no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. Trustee Boynton, can I get a motion on the consent agenda?
Sure. I move that we accept the following on the consent agenda. Board meeting minutes of June 16th, 2026, prepaid lists of June 24th and July 1st, and the voucher list of July 7th, all of 2026.
Can I get a second on that consent agenda?
Support.
Trustee Martin. Okay, I've got a motion and I've got a second by Trustee Martin. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. Today we have no public hearing. We move now to correspondence, announcements, and presentations. Does anybody want to start? I've got a few, but okay. First of all, I want to thank Senator Camilleri most emphatically. Senator Camilleri just completed the budget. He contacted me at 10 o'clock at night and said, we've got your $1 million, and 11 o'clock, and we lost your $1 million, and 12 o'clock, we got your $1 million. But he got $1 million by 8 o'clock in the morning when they finally had a budget hammered out. Van Buren Township got $1 million for the Lakeside Park. We were very, very happy to get that. It's not easy getting earmarks anymore. There was 1 or 2 good years, and they're pretty hard to get. So that's really thankful. Congressman Dingle got a $750 the year before. We got Ranjiv Puri, state representative, got us $750,000 last year. This $1 million here. It's coming in. We're going to be fully funded on this. Also want to thank all the people that worked on the fireworks, the police and the fire. Oh my God, the police and fire, busy week. They had 3 fireworks shows going on. They had the outages. They had town wires everywhere. We had 200 service calls on fire. And I gotta love you guys for handling all those. And our dispatch went down because of power outages and backup issues. And So that made everything basically more exciting to get dispatch. We weren't down for long, but while we were down, Canton took over our dispatch. Our people rallied and moved over there and moved back and forth and did a fine job. I just really proud of the group that we've got here, and I wanted to say thank you for the police and fire for the hard work that you guys did this weekend. It was a busy, hot, no power, a lot of fireworks, a lot of celebrations, a lot of people in the streets weekend. Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay. All right. Moving on to public comments, and we're now at the public comment. In this section, we have public comment on anything that is on the agenda to tonight. Is there anybody that wishes to speak of anything that is on the agenda tonight? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ashley Shukite. I'm speaking about the proposed home rehabilitation program, and I'm asking the board not to move forward with it tonight. I submitted a detailed email laying out specifics, unanswered questions about the program. I am asking that every board member read that email in full and respond publicly, point by point, before this program is considered further. Residents deserve those answers on the record and after the vote. This is not a grant. It is a deferred loan secured by a lien on a homeowner's property. Repayment is triggered when the home is sold, transferred, sold or transferred at one of the most financially significant moments in a family's life. This creates a real problem. Many of the homeowners this program targets did not choose to live near a hyperscale data center. None of us asked for it. If residents want to sell and move because of the declining quality of life, environmental concerns, or simply because their family's needs have changed, this program financially traps them in place. It turns a home repair into a barrier to forcing people to weigh selling their home against triggering a lien they may not be able to pay off, especially if the home values are affected by the very development next door. That is not a homeowner's assistance. That is a program that punishes people for wanting to move. There's also an equity problem. Homeowners in the Haggerty subdivision have sewer damage that professional plumbers trace back to the township-owned infrastructure, not private property, with the repair estimates of $60,000 to $80,000. This program caps assistance at $30,000 and still places a lien on the home. If public infrastructure is failing, the township should repair the public infrastructure. Residents should not be asked to borrow against their homes to fix damage the township is responsible for. The board memo also states this program is intended to become the model for future Google community benefit funding. Before Google has actually been approved, and they have not held a single public meeting with the residents. We have not met with Google. That decision should not be made in advance of that conversation. I am asking the board to postpone approval, publicly answer every question raised in mine and others' emails and questions tonight, hold a real public engagement with Google before locking in a future funding model, and redesign this program around grants and infrastructure investment instead of debt that traps residents in place. I don't see the timer. The individual who is suffering because of sewage in the township is stuck at work and unable to attend. She believed this program voting on tonight would actually help her, and this does not. And she's really stressed out that this was not the program that was talked about when the township came to her house. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anybody else that wishes to speak? Okay. We're going to move on then. We're now into unfinished business, which we have none, and we're into new business. We'll begin with discussion on and consider approval of the 2025 annual audit of township funds. Plant Moran? Thank you.
Motion.
It's actually, I've had this meeting already 3 or 4 times, because it's just like.
Every time. It's like a book. You learn something new every time you read it.
This is what tells me if I'm, yeah.
So, good evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here tonight. I am Stacy Reeves, and with me today are Josh Eady and Alyssa Fleury, all members of your audit team. Before I get started with the results, I do want to just take a minute to thank your team who provides support and guidance throughout the audit process. When we perform the audit, we add a lot of time and effort to their daily jobs, and everyone was extremely responsive throughout the process. So I just wanted to thank your team very much for that. We did issue timely the financial statements with the state of Michigan within its required deadline. And we're going to cover the majority of the financial statements through our graph presentation with Alyssa. But before we do that, just wanted to point out that in our large bound document that you've all received, we did issue an unmodified or clean opinion, which is the highest level of opinion that we can offer that your financial statements are free of material misstatement. And Alyssa's going to go ahead and go through the graphs, and we'll address any questions you have as we go.
Perfect, thank you. Hello, everyone. So I will be going through the graphs as Stacy mentioned. You should have them in front of you. They are also up on the screen. So starting here on the first slide. So this first slide is showing a 4-year trend of general fund revenues. You can see on the far right the 2025 revenues, which increased about 3.8% to that 28.6 million. Some of the biggest increases were in property taxes, which increased about 8.9%, and other revenue, which increased about 11.7%. This was largely due to grant revenues, particularly with the Iron Bell Trail activity. The next slide is continuing this 4-year trend, but this time with general fund expenditures. So expenditures remained relatively consistent over the year, increasing about $1 million or 5.2%. The largest changes here relate to an increase in public safety of about 1.7 million, which was offset by a decrease to rec and culture of about 1.6 million. The next slide is continuing with the general fund, this time with fund balance over the past 4 years. So total fund balance increased about 1.3 million. You'll see at the bottom, the largest bucket is unassigned, which is the amount that's available for everyday spending and is about 6.8 million. This amount covers about 25% of the 2025 expenditures.
And just to be clear, the governor's, or the state recommends 25%, correct? Okay, so we're in that recommendation.
Perfect. And then the last slide here is just showing, again, 4 years, but this time water and sewer, both revenue and expenses. So you'll see that orange bar is operating expenses and that bluish bar is revenue. So again, that 4-year history, revenue is up about 2% and expenses up about 5% over last year. The largest increases in expenses are really due to water purchases and sewer treatment. The last slide here just has our contact information. If any questions do come up, we are happy to take them now or at any time in the future. But with that, I'll pass it over to Josh for a few other items.
Thank you very much. So the last item here would be the letter in front of you, the letter to the board. And this would be the bookend to the letter that we had sent out at the beginning of the audit, where we laid out our plans. So had there been any deviations from our plans, this is the letter where we would cover them. However, as Stacy mentioned, the audit did go very smoothly. So you're looking for no's here. There were no disagreements with management, no difficulties, no significant changes, things like that. There are many times where we identify journal entries as part of our audit procedures. And so when those happen, we are required to communicate those to you. Those are discussed on page 2 and relate largely to year end, and we've already covered that with management. We anticipate that would not recur moving forward. So you can look there for more details. And then starting on page 5, we have various items that you can read at your leisure related to upcoming accounting pronouncements and things like that. We'll be working with the township to make sure that the township stays in front of those and properly adopts those. That's all I had planned to cover, and I believe all we had planned to cover. So if there are any questions, happy to entertain them now.
Could you discuss, so 10 years ago, we had $0 in OPEB. That's retiree medical. We had a $30 million shortfall in that fund, 0%. Can you talk about where we're at now?
So that would be in the larger bound document, your financial statements. On page 58, there is a 9-year history there talking about the funding status. And the funding position now is at almost 45%, just under 45% funded. The state does require a corrective action plan when you are below 40%, so you are above that threshold where the state would require additional efforts.
We
on your
finally
part.
made it. It took us 9 years to get there, but I mean, this board really took that on, and it's kind of a big deal for us. We had a 39.5, and then we were at 39.8, and then we finally made the big push over 45. So we're finally off the state books, and we're in very good shape compared to a lot of communities, I believe. What else is there? I know every number in here. I don't know what to talk about. Bottom line, we're very strong. We have a AA rating, and we have more money in our fund balance now than we did when we got that 3 or 4 years ago. Our long-term debt balance has got a surplus in it because we have a letter in this packet, I believe, from Plant Moran saying that we're probably 8 million overfunded in that area. I'm guessing, I think it was 8 or 7, but so we're strong there. We are losing money in our water and sewer, but we're losing money because we made money for years before we got here, and it's not Van Buren's position to be a banker for that money. We're giving it back slowly but surely, and that's why you see a consistent loss. Although we are raising the rates because the losses are growing, and we've got to consistently keep close. We still have one of the lowest water rates in the region. We still have the lowest, I think, in taxes in the region. So we're strong enough financially that we don't have to consider not being that person anymore. I can't think of anything to add. Right?
Right,
Anything? Yeah?
through the chair.
Yes.
They thanked us for the service of our staff. Once again, I'd like to thank our staff, my deputy, the bookkeeper in Leon's office, Karen, and we had some other folks came in. Carol came back to help her out when things had gotten tight, and we enjoyed your company too. So
Yeah.
we like the joshing back and forth in the morning. Thank you.
So you don't see any issues in our books at all? I mean, we're pretty strong financially then?
Very stable.
Very stable, very good, okay. Just like to hear it when the experts say that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
All right,
Chair,
yes, sir.
I would like to move for approval of 2025 annual audit of township funds.
Trustee Boynton and Trustee Kelly. I have a motion by Trustee Boynton, supported by Trustee Kelly. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. You guys are all done. You guys can go. Thanks. Next item is discussion on and to consider approval of the purchase of a 2026 Caterpillar Model 308 excavator. Can I get a motion? Trustee Kelly.
I move to consider approval of the purchase of a 2026 Caterpillar Model 308 excavator.
Support.
Bud, okay. All right, Director Lawrence.
Board, the purchase of the 2026 Caterpillar Model 308 excavator will replace the 1990 580 case backhoe, which is approximately 26 years old. We did our homework on this. We demoed 3 of these excavators. We did the Landmark, the John Deere, and the Caterpillar. The Caterpillar was the recognized sole source low bid in the amount of $148,015.99. This excavator has all the bells and whistles. It has a monitor backup camera. We can preset the depth of how deep we want to go. If we get to that mark, it will stop and not allow the backhoe to go, or the excavator to go any further. So I think we did our homework. Our three operators agreed that this is the best purchase moving forward, and I recommend approval.
Any issues? We have a 26-year-old excavator. Can we get rid of that thing?
Put it up for sale.
It's really an eyesore. Any questions? Okay, I have a motion by trustee Kelly, supported by treasurer Bud. Hearing no further discussions, all in favor? Aye. Oppose? This motion passes. Thank you very much, Director. Next item is discussion and to consider approval of awarding the CDBG Haggerty Subdivision Sidewalk Ramp Project to Great Lakes Contracting Solutions in the amount of $345,000. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair. I move that we approve of awarding the CDBG Haggerty Subdivision Sidewalk Ramp Project to Great Lakes Contracting Solutions in an amount of $345,718.
Can I get a second?
Support.
Clerk Wright. Okay. I don't know, what is your title now?
Municipal Services Coordinator.
There you go.
Evening Board, just to give a little recap, in 2025, we applied for a CDBG grant through Wayne County to install handicap accessible ramps in the Haggerty subdivision. We were awarded that grant in the amount of $412,500.
Okay, $412,000.
Yes. And we approved that contract with Wayne County in March of this year. In April, we approved an agreement with Fishbeck to provide engineering services, and the project was placed out to bid on March 27, 2026. We conducted the bid opening on June 23rd, 2026. We received 2 bids for this project. The low bid was from Great Lakes Contracting Solutions LLC with the low bid $345,718,000. The other bid for the project was $562,362.50. Fishbeck reviewed the proposal from Great Lakes Contracting, and it was found to be sufficient and acceptable. So based on that information, we are recommending the award to go to Great Lakes Contracting Solutions. Because this is a CDBG project, the cost of that construction work will be reimbursed through the grant through Wayne County. We're anticipating the project will begin in late summer, early fall, and to be completed by the end of October. And if you have any questions, I can help you out.
Go over what they're going to do in Haggerty Sub.
Yep, so they will be repairing and replacing all of the curb cuts and ramps within Haggerty Sub to bring them up to the current ADA compliance.
So the sidewalks at the curbs only, okay.
Entering into the road area, the curbs area.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Community Development Block Grant is a, it's a federal.
Federal program.
Federal. You were on the CDBG board for 100 years.
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
about 30 at least. Long story short is we've done incredibly well with them, and it's nice to complete that sidewalk project in Haggerty Sub by getting this additional grant. And we've got amazing people that write great grants and follow it up by getting with people and making sure that they take our stuff seriously, and it really moves forward that way. So at any rate, does anybody have any questions? Nope. Okay, I've got a motion by trustee, yes, trustee Boynton, supported by clerk Wright. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Okay. So they'll be in by Christmas, right? Yes. Okay.
By the end of the year.
Okay. All right. The next item is to consider approval of a budget amendment in the amount of $50,000 from the general fund balance for the Van Buren Township Home Rehabilitation Program that we would like to possibly start up. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Trustee Kelly,
I move to consider approval of a budget amendment in the amount of $50,000 from the general fund balance to 101-101-88 for the Van Buren Township Home Rehabilitation Program.
Thank you. Can I get support? Will? Trustee Frazier. Okay. All right. Director Akers.
Thank you. So in 2016, Wayne County shifted the administration of community development block grant funds for housing rehabilitation to be administered by a third-party organization. And as a result, Van Buren Township has not received federal housing rehab funds for several years. This change has reduced available assistance for local families and seniors who may be a financial hardship away from either losing their homes or being forced to live in unsafe conditions. So due to this, we are proposing this budget amendment to create the seed money to start our own housing rehab program, which was modeled after the prior program we administered under Wayne County, to help eligible residents complete needed home repairs and address health, safety, and other code issues. So subject to annual budget approval and available funding, the program will be offered through an application process following HUD eligibility guidelines. Assistance will be provided as a 0% interest deferred loan secured by a recorded lien on the property. The loan will not require repayment until the home is sold. The pilot program will initially be funded from the general fund. Future funding is expected to come from the community funds that Google will be providing to the township under the Memorandum of Understanding, which establishes a Community Services Public Improvement Fund. This funding would provide an opportunity to establish a program that could immediately assist residents with critical home repairs. So at this time, we're requesting a budget amendment of $50,000 in order to start supporting residents in need. These requested funds will provide the initial funding needed to launch the program. We've attached to the board action request a draft outline of some of the program rules, which have been mirrored from, as I had indicated before, other local housing rehabilitation programs and the housing rehabilitation program that the township administered on behalf of the county. So we will keep the township board informed as we continue to refine various aspects of the program. And of course, we look forward to further discussion on the matter as we begin to move forward. So I'm happy to answer questions.
I just want to do a little history real quick. In 2016, we got our second grant. Our first grant was the Summer Youth Program, which is still going on. The second grant was $300,000 from CDBG to do these kind of home fix-up. Basically, it helps people stay in their homes if they're a senior and they need a new roof and you know it's leaking. And by the way, we have those, and they're already ready to go. And they're in their 80s. They it's either move or come up with money to the $10,000 to fix your roof. So the idea is to try and let them stay in their homes and keep people in their homes and that just have something bad that happens that's just a little bit as outside of the thing. We don't want them living in sanitary conditions. We want them to be able to stay here. We ultimately, though, we're going to want our money back. But they could have that money for 40 years as far as we're concerned. But when they do sell it, the money gets paid back. But the problem was we got $300,000, and when we got the $300,000, county took it and gave it to Wayne Metro, which is in Wyandotte, which is a spectacular company for downriver. But they annexed land of Van Buren and said, you're now part of our area. We didn't see a dime of it. The next year we went and got a whole bunch more money. We partnered with Canton, and we partnered with Belleville, and we partnered with Sumter, and we got a bunch more money, which was again given to Wayne Metro. None of us got a dime of it. We had people we had seniors with houses that one on I-94, their roof was falling in, and we couldn't get a dime, and they said, oh yeah, it's yours, you can have it. And years later, they still hadn't got any money. So long story short is we've been getting creamed by that thing for so long that we've just don't even go after it. But we kind of forgot what a good program it really was. And we're not really in a bad position to start doing those kind of programs on our own. I mean, in the short run, which government doesn't think short run, it's going to cost us money. The long run, in the 20, 30-year run, it's basically baked out to break even, isn't it? Since you used to run it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, and we're thinking monumentally here. We're thinking long run government, not today. So while we have the ability, I think that we can handle trying this thing out and seeing if it works out. That's my attitude, and that's why I want to do it. But it's, of course, it's up to the board whether they want to do it. I know that you've all had people call you because they've had hardships. And this is a way that we can at least put them into a program that may be able to help them. Does anybody have any discussion?
Through the chair, I have a couple questions.
Trustee Kelly?
These are interest-free loans, nothing back to the township, it's zero debt for us, correct?
Correct. So we would, essentially, we would administer the construction project and the repairs. We would get competitive quotes using our own internal procurement policies, and then we draft a legal document, record a lien on the property, and sometimes if they move in 5 years, it might get paid off at the 5-year point at zero interest. And I know, we even with some of the housing rehab programs, there were projects that we had done in the 90s that, for the last couple of years, the house may have finally sold, and, we're getting those funds back at 0%. So, yep, 0% interest loan.
So 0%, we're helping with the funding, we're taking money from the general fund to set it aside to help homeowners that need it in our community.
Yes.
Helping with the repairs and getting contractors we trust. And how much are the monthly payments for the homeowners?
0.
So no monthly payments. I don't think I have any other questions.
Through the chair, and just to say, the township waives all their permits too, so that's not
So no
added
permit
in the
fees?
cost. Right.
So don't add any administrative costs or anything to that. It's usually just direct hard costs.
And that doesn't make them ineligible, the homeowner ineligible for any other grants or anything else they might be eligible for, correct?
No.
I have no other questions.
Anybody else? Trustee Martin?
So, $50,000 from the township. So you mentioned $10,000 for a roof. So say we got 5 roofs at $10,000, and now in a short period of time we have exhausted those funds. How is this going to be funded in the future, and how many actual homes are we going to be able to help?
The short answer is we're going to monitor the program to kind of see what demand we get from it. As with any program, when you're relaunching it, we're going to kind of have to evaluate, what the community needs are, evaluate how much money we're going to need, and evaluate, frankly, probably some of the program guidelines, to find something that works and is truly helping township residents. And of course those discussions will be brought before the board too. So that way, the board is aware of what's going on and how things are going. The advantage with running our own housing rehabilitation program as opposed to utilizing federal funds or utilizing county processes is that we have a little bit more flexibility in what we're able to do. So, we're looking to create some processes where, things can be appealed or adjusted, or, if somebody, say, comes in at, somebody has to do a roof or some housing repair project that comes into $30,001, that maybe exceeds the program, but the board will have the ability to have a final say and maybe, give some additional consideration in those situations.
I got a couple more, Leon. I'm sorry.
Good.
So when that 50,000 runs out, say by the end of this year, perhaps, and I'm just speculating, and then what? And in the future, where are funds going to come from to fund this rehabilitation program?
I guess that's my question. I would put it to the board that we would fund it at another 30,000 or 50,000, whatever the board decides in the budget for next year,
So we're going to do this in perpetuity?
until you decide not to, or decide, like I said, in theory, it takes years, but in theory, it ends up paying for itself, but it takes
Yeah.
a while.
So the loan repayment will be pending on the sale of the property. So where would the loan payment come from? From the proceeds of the property sale? How would that work? The new buyer would pay for the loan? How would that work?
Title company.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, technically, when you sell your house, they have to check the register of deeds, which it'll show up that there is a lien on the property for this money that they know has to be paid before they could sell the house and get ownership to anybody else.
So that at the closing, you'll write,
Right.
whoever's writing checks, the title company, I assume.
So it'll come from the proceeds of the sale of the home.
And any point in time, if the resident wants to, they can make a payment on it or do however they want to handle it. If after they get the money in a few years down, they're in a better position and they want to start paying it back, they can do that too. So there's a whole lot of things that the residents can do to handle that.
Now, is this similar to the sidewalk rehabilitation program that we had in Haggerty Sub? Is this
No,
along
the
that
si-
same line, or is this something?
Now, the Haggerty sub one was a payback. This is, we're actually copying the CDBG program that
So-
we never seem to get a dime out of. And although we will continue to go after that money.
So the sidewalk program that was done through Haggerty Sub was done as a special assessment on a property. So under the special assessment law, they would repay that over a period of time on their property taxes, and we usually charge very low interest, like 2.5%, 3% on those. For this program, it would just simply be recorded as a lien on the property at 0%. So, on day one, if it's $7,000, at day, year 40, it'll be $7,000. And so that lien can, as was indicated, that lien can be taken care of and paid at any time, and we will release the lien, or it will get paid out of the proceeds of the sale of a home.
Through the chair again.
Yes.
This is my problem with it, and if you are receiving this program because of income guidelines and HUD income guidelines, my thing is if you sell the home, how are you going to? If you're already low income, how is this going to help you at the end? I don't understand. I'm missing something, I guess. I feel that it's going to be a hardship on the seller at some point. That when they do sell their home, they're gonna lose this money from the sale of their home. They're gonna have to satisfy this debt.
What
before they
happens?
can sell the home. I don't understand how that's helpful
So
at the end.
if I could just respond, so the goal of the program is more intended to help continue people to live in safe, sanitary conditions and help them stay in their homes. So, an application of it, like if you have a leaky roof, for example, maybe you plan to stay in the home, but you have a leaky roof. You use the funds to fix the roof to prevent further property damage and deterioration and keep somebody in a home. Or if, say somebody has a furnace go out or hot water heater go out, and, given at certain times of the year, these programs could be used to help, repair a furnace, replace a furnace, do those type of things to keep people in the house.
I'm not against helping residents repair their homes or whatever. What I'm trying to get at is that if they don't sell their home, that's great. But if they have to sell their home for some reason, things happen, and I don't want it to be a hardship on them when they go to sell their home. If they got to repay that, if that's part of the proceeds from the sale of their home, which may not be, if they have a mortgage on it or whatever, it may be negligible, and they may not, it may cause further hardship. That's all I'm worried about.
Through the chair. I agree. I look at both of it, but we're also looking at someone that's got a roof that's falling apart that needs help immediately, where it could force them getting out of the house sooner than later. So if you've got a family that's in there that can stay and continue in the home, so I don't know what the balance would be on both ends, but if the money's not available, the money's not there to keep them in the house to begin with, then they could be forced out.
Understand that. I'm not opposed to helping people. I'm
Yep,
not,
I
I'm not
agree.
opposed to
There's
that.
both sides, I agree.
I'm
That's
not
the-
opposed to it at all, but I'm looking at the future. I'm looking at the big picture, not just, we can get our house fixed today, but in 6 months, I may need to sell that home or whatever, and now I'm hit with this,
I guess I have a question,
Look, right?
if I can get in. So this program is set up to help homeowners in need, from what I'm understanding. So if it's set up to help homeowners in need, and I'm assuming that the homeowner it would be their approval.
Oh, it'd be the homeowner's choice. We wouldn't
So
do
the
anything,
homeowner
yeah.
will ask us for help, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if homeowners come to us and ask us for help, the roof is falling in. If the roof fall in, I don't see them selling the house. I don't see nobody buying the house. So I'm thinking this is to help someone in need to keep them in the house, or if they need windows, or like you said, if they need a furnace. Um, as long as you're not putting any pressure on anyone that they saying they have to do something unforcefully, if they asking for help and we are there to help them. I've been sitting in this chair for 18 years and I know we get help. We've been asked for help a lot of times and we didn't have the money to help. I think if we can, we should try to set up some type of program to help homeowner in need. There's no worse than getting a loan on anything that you got to pay back. I mean, if you don't pay it, I run a homeowner association. If people don't pay their dues, we put a lien on their house, and when they sell it, they have to pay the lien off. That's just the way it is. If they ask for help, I think we should be able to give them help, and as long as they are approval of help and they understand that this lien is going to be put on their house, I don't see where that's a detriment.
I can say that the majority of the requests seem to be roofs and furnaces in cold weather. And it comes down to the first thing we do is we ask, are you a veteran? Because this program exists with the veterans and they've got funding. The next thing now they're into the Wayne County, the Wayne Metro Agency out of Wyandotte. And we have to send them there. That's our only choice.
Right.
And nobody has ever, that I know of, gotten money in Van Buren Township through the Wayne Metro Agency, ever. Look, since 2016.
They are, and I meet their directors every month. I will hands down.
You tell them to call me and tell them what I said, because I've had it with them.
Yeah. But I have had people come to me and ask me, do we have a program to help? And unfortunately, we didn't have a program. We don't have a program to help. And that is that's a bad, sad situation when you got to tell your resident that need help, that you don't have anything to help them with. So I don't see anything. I don't see what's bad about the program.
I don't know how else to get help out there,
Yeah.
unless we just give money away, and I can't give money away for Van Buren residents. I can't give Van Buren resident taxpayers money to another Van Buren resident without having something.
You can't do it without having some type of program like this.
Okay.
All right, another question though, buddy. You addressed the board earlier. You said something about a series of questions that you asked that you want to answer. I haven't seen any questions. I just scanned my email. I haven't seen any questions from you. And I think the trustee said the same thing. I mean, I'm just saying, I haven't seen any questions. I'm trying to figure out what you was talking about.
I don't mind if you just want to have her read the questions, but I don't want any more comments on it.
Yeah. Could you, how many questions was it?
Can you resend it? Because I
Can you
don't have
just
the email either.
can you just resend them? How many questions was it?
It's 4 pages?
I don't know. I had a lot of questions and they helped me with some questions. The issue is it a grant or you're putting?
It's not a grant.
So if you want me to read the thing, I will.
Well, just how many questions was it? I haven't seen anything like that.
My opinions were past public comment on it. So I get it. She sent it. If we want to review it, we can, but
I just asked to be really mindful, like Mr. Martin's saying, being mindful of the residents of what that actually means for low income.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so,
No, I'm good. I mean, we're always mindful of the
so,
residents.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get the gist of that, and quite frankly, it is part of this board's job to create wealth for its residents. And that's what we try and do every day here, is to try and create wealth for its residents by driving housing prices. We've done a very good job. We do that by building amenities, by making it a safe place to live, by having a good fire department, good cops. But well, I thought somebody was behind me. But but I can't use residents' wealth to help others out, to create wealth for them. If they have a home repair, it's a liability against their home, or their, and there are things, and they've got to repair that. And unfortunately, we have had to kick people out of their homes before, and we have had to literally knock down residents' homes before, because they let it go for 5, 10 years, and their water systems were destroyed, their electrical systems were destroyed, all from water, their roofs were destroyed, the houses were unlivable in, and we literally had to kick them out of their house, and cockroaches had moved in, and they were swarming through the neighborhood. We've had that happen too. These things can be avoided, sometimes for a little bit if we can catch them early enough. So, all right. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, I have a motion right now by Trustee Kelly, and it's been supported by Trustee Frazier, regarding the creation of the Van Buren Township Home Rehabilitation Program. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This motion passes. Thank you very much. Thank you, Director. Next item is discussion on to consider approval of amendment number 6 for the Great Lakes Water Authority Water Service Contract, and authorize the supervisor and clerk to execute the agreement. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair.
Trustee Boynton.
Move to approve of amendment number 6 of the GLWA water service contract and authorize the supervisor and clerk to execute the agreement.
Can I get a second?
Support.
Clerk Wright. Okay, Director Lawrence.
Okay. This is a 4-year renewal for the township to purchase water from Great Lakes Water Authority. There is no increase to the contract limits for fiscal year 2027. This contract will be revisited at the end of the year for 28, 29, and 30. So basically, we're locked in at the max rate of 0.600 million gallons per day. That will stay for the entire length of the 4-year contract.
Wait, our max is point, this is,
0.00 million gallons per day,
oh,
max day. So that will be
why did you
locked.
say 0.00? It's 1 million gallons or 2 million gallons? How much do we get a day?
6 million.
There we go. Okay, that's what I was hurting. Okay.
That will stay in effect for the duration of the contract. For the peak hour, it's 0.27,
Okay.
0.827. So that will stay in effect for 2027. There's agreement that I did with Great Lakes Water Authority, some things that we will do to improve their system, and they will review that at the end of the year. And most likely, the rate will stay the same.
So there's been no increase to our rates? Okay. And there's been no increase to our, they don't ration water, they've got more than they need, but we're supposed to maintain that number, okay, so that they can determine how much they have to make a day. Okay, all right. All right, any questions? No. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, I got a motion by Trustee Boynton, supported by Clerk Wright, to approve the Great Lakes Water Service contract. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. Thank you, Director. Next item is discussion on to consider approval of Fishbeck to perform professional services. Can I get a motion?
Through chair.
Clerk Wright.
I can make make a motion to consider approval of Fishback to perform professional services for hydraulic analysis and control, valve commissioning for the township water system in the amount of $103,900 to be paid from the account 592-536-820-000, engineering fees.
Thank you. Support, please.
Support.
Trustee Kelly. Okay, Director Lawrence again.
The hydraulic modeling analysis will review our WAMR, which is the Wholesale Automated Meter Reading Portal. Data for the peak hour for the SCADA operation and calibration of the model for the water tower, control valves for VBO6 and VBO7 PRV stations. So this is part of the agreement that I made with Great Lakes Water Authority, that I will make sure VBO6, VBO7 is functioning correctly and that the water tower is working correctly, filling up the tank during off-peak hours to save the residents money. So I recommend that we do the analysis and the commission of the water valve in the amount of $103,900, which we pay from the appropriate funds of account 592-536-820-000, which is engineering fees.
Any discussion? Clerk Wright.
I made the motion because I think this is essential. I was here when the water tower was built, along with Treasury Bud, and I think the main reason why we built the water tower is to make sure that the peaks works for us, and we didn't get charged from the peaks. From my understanding, when the water rate peaks in the morning time when everybody's using water, in the afternoons when everybody's taking a shower, we get those spikes in the peaks, and that's when it rates us. You get a higher rate based on the peak. The water tower is supposed to kick on and control those peaks and keep everything even so that we don't have those peaks. So if it's not working, we want to make sure it's working. So yeah, I think this is needed to make sure that it's working properly.
All right. It's been, cost savings wise, probably the best thing that ever happened this township.
Right.
It was a wonderful thing that they put it in. All right, I have a motion by Clerk Wright and supported by Trustee Kelly. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. Thank you, Director. We are now into public comment for non-agenda items. Public.
Nope.
Oh, I missed, the walk-on. Sorry, I always miss one. Okay, so now I have a resolution to approve the purchase of a parcel, 585 West Columbia Avenue. Can I get a motion? Okay,
Through the chair,
yes, go ahead, Clerk Wright.
I make the motion to approve a resolution 2026-17 to approve the purchase of a parcel 183-110-01-0165-001, 585 West Columbia Avenue, Van Buren Township, for the amount of $142,800 from the Wayne County foreclosure list.
Okay, can I get a second?
Support.
Okay, I got a motion, I got a second. I'll do this one, I guess. For a long time, the Van Buren Public Schools have wanted to buy the property on West Columbia that abuts its land. 585 West Columbia Avenue has skirted with Wayne County foreclosure for 5 years, and I get a phone call 2 or 3 times a year from Pete Kudlak, the superintendent, asking if this thing was gone up to the Wayne County auction. In essence, if it goes to the Wayne County auction, people can bid as low as, it's probably in here, but I think it's down to about $6,000 or $7,000 or $10,000. But if we want to buy it before it goes to the auction, we have to pay fair market value for it. And fair market value is $146,000, I think, $442,000. I believe that Van Buren Public Schools was actually purchasing this property for close to this amount when Wayne County grabbed the property and and the title company discovered it while they were going through their title work and said, you can't sell the property, it's been grabbed by Wayne County, there's no way to buy it now. So the schools have asked that we buy it before it hits the auction. We would purchase it, and then we would sell it to the schools for that amount of money. I can't speak for the county, but I believe that any proceeds above the money that's owed in the taxes go to the existing owner at this site, so that's probably as fair as you can get. So I'm asking you to purchase this so that I can resell it, we can resell it to Van Buren Public Schools so they can do whatever they meant to do with this.
Chair,
Trustee Martin?
do we have a MOU from the from the school system saying that this is something that they want to do?
We have nothing but their phone call word.
Okay, so suppose they change their mind.
For $142,000 with a view to the lake, I'll buy it.
That's not.
I know, I have
that's not
nothing.
what I'm
I
saying.
have zero
We're,
zip,
we're
nada.
purchasing the property, so
Yeah.
if they come back in a week later after you close and say, you know what, we changed our mind.
Then we're out of luck. Or else
Yeah,
we'd have
that's
to
not a-
sell it.
That's not a good, that's.
I know.
No.
The reason you're getting it so quickly is because they only give you a couple weeks. And when they gave it to us, I think it was Friday, or we had a long weekend. I think we saw this a couple days ago. How long ago did we get this thing? Deputy Supervisor Selman?
Why can't the school buy it?
We received it today.
Refuse.
We received the right of refusal list today, and the deadline to show intent to purchase a property, and you need a resolution, is July 21st,
And
which
when
is
is
our
our
next board
when
meeting.
is our next meeting?
July 21st.
First, so, yeah.
Resolution
at
sent
night.
to the Wayne County Treasurer Land Division by July 21st with the resolution.
That's why we walked it on. Yes, and then we'll go back to Trustee Martin. Kelly?
I agree with Trustee Martin on it being a little bit of a concern. Could we modify the language a little that allows us to get a MOU from them before it gets submitted, since we have the 21 till the 21st? That would allow us to
Sure, you could
approve
put
it.
you could put a codicil in there requiring us to get a MOU from the schools to purchase the property before the clerk and I are allowed to sign.
That's what I'm saying, can we approve, we can approve it tonight and change the language, I could
And then add
change
that
my
into the
motion.
to allow that approval, so we
I
don't
was
have.
saying this is only valid upon MOU from them.
Yeah, that we can't sign until the MOU comes in. That's a good idea.
So
That's a great idea.
they have a school board meeting on Monday, so we could all
Yeah.
approve it and never send
So,
it.
I changed my motion at the end to say that this is only warrant if they give us submit a MOU and
Okay.
a board meeting on Monday.
Sure.
Do you think, Trustee Martin, does that help solve some of the
That's better.
questions? Do you have some other?
Who was the second on that?
But
Are you okay with amending? Okay.
Yeah.
Trustee Martin, we are back to you.
Okay, I can, they put it in writing that this is their intent, then
And we won't be able to sign anything until we get something from them.
I won't sign.
if they don't get it, then it's
Yeah.
no deal.
Okay.
Okay.
I can live with that.
All right.
Secretary has this also.
So could you tell me what the amended, Deputy Clerk, could you tell me what the amended motion is?
I don't have the wording of the original
Okay,
motion.
I'm assuming it's Resolution 2617 to approve the purchase of parcel, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, with the amendment that we get an MOU from the schools after their Monday school board meeting before the clerk and supervisor sign the agreement.
It has to be signed by both.
Yeah, okay,
Does that sound good?
yes.
To the chair,
yes.
also, just a comment, because Dan and I had a lot of conversation about this earlier today, is that the school district was also going to be told that the money had to come in before the end of the year, so it wouldn't mess with our budget and how it's budgeted and not budgeted, so it's not hanging over. So if we got it, they had to pay it before the end of the year to satisfy our budget needs. And I think he did express that to the superintendent. And like Dan said, it's the superintendent that's been calling us to see. They want it, it's by the entrance, that second entrance, and that goes back where all the students go in. I don't know if they want to widen that, but that's been an awful hang-up if you've tried to get your kids in and out of there. And that's the property that's in question.
It is tight right there, so.
Yeah. So I have a motion by Clerk Wright, and it's been supported by Treasurer Bud. It's been amended as stated. Hearing, do we have any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. Now can I go on? Public comment. We are now into public comment for non-agenda items. Anybody making comment on anything they want?
135.
Yes, sir. I know who you are, but you would name and for the record.
Good evening, Township Board. My name is Sam Casano. I represent RWE and the battery storage project on Rossonville and Bemis Road. I just wanted to say, ahead of the board meeting for our special land use decision in August, wanted to let you know that we are out in the community still speaking to residents nearby our project, making sure that we have answers to their questions. And I also wanted to let you guys know that if you still had continued questions about our project, that I am a resource as well, and we have experts and are happy to answer those questions. So that is
Thank you.
all.
We are not allowed to respond, but thank you. Okay, thank you, Sam. Okay, anybody else?
Make sure you forward it info,
All right,
if I get his info.
we do have it. Yes. Right?
Name's Morris Little, and I live in Hagerty Sub. The question I have is on this, about the water usage, so many, 6 million gallons a day or whatever. Now, is that including or excluding the project that's gonna be going in?
They're gonna work out a deal with, I'm not supposed to do this. Can I talk
we
to you
won't be-
afterwards? No,
Yeah, just so we
It
won't
is
be-
excluding, I think, at this time.
I'll talk to you afterwards. Thank you.
Afterwards, so. Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay, oh, sorry. Okay.
So my mom, who has problems in the Haggerty sub, regarding the line that's past the curve, you are all looking very confused.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So the Haggerty sub, if you live on like one of the weird corners that they
Okay.
have,
Uh-huh.
insurance company, because of the sewer backup that's in one of the mom's homes, that's a single mother of 5 children. She's working, she's trying to get here, but she just got out. The sewer backups are caused from what multiple plumbers are reporting is the township's main line. She is one of the few because it's on that curve. So you have your house to the curb, that's the homeowner's responsibility, right? And then you have the city line or the township line. On those houses of the curves, there's an extra, Ron can quote me, 150, 180 feet of extra pipe. That is the problem. So multiple plumbers have come out, everybody's done assessments. Nobody will work with her. She's been fighting for 4 years since she bought this house. Yes, she got screwed. But she is fighting weekly for the safety of her kids because sewage is backing up so bad in her basement. Nobody will do any weatherization in her house. Wayne Metro did come out. They were going to fix some weatherization stuff, and guess what? They won't because there's sewer backup. The sewer pipeline is, the township is saying it's her responsibility. Plumbers and the homeowner's insurance is saying, no, it's not. Every day she is dealing with this while trying to work and take care of 5 kids. And I am just begging the township, when they came out and did an assessment about a week ago, they said, oh, well, we're going to have this program on the 7th. And Mr. Selman sent an email, oh yeah, Google's going to fix. We need her stuff fixed now. She is living in sewage, raw sewage, with 5 children. And I understand it's like this weird township we didn't know years ago when they built the sub that they built this like extra piece. Sorry, not an engineer. We need that fixed for her. She's not going to qualify for that program. It's not going to cover it. The quotes are $60,000 to $80,000. And like, I'm sure she is not the only one alone in the Haggerty sub that has this issue. And I really need the township to take it serious. That's all I'm asking. She can't make it by the time she gets here from the hospital. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Board comments. I'll start with the board comment. We are taking that issue extremely seriously. That's one of the reasons we had an insurance person come in, because there are many people in older communities that have sewer lines that are backing up. Our responsibility is to the sewer line, making sure the sewer line's good. If we are causing that, we are absolutely going to fix it, because we don't do that to anybody. We are actually going back out there to triple and quadruple check to make sure it's not us. We haven't found that we've done anything wrong. We're trying to figure out a way to a solution for her. And we had this before she even came to us. We already went out and found an insurance company to help people, because this is a big problem in Haggerty Sub. It's a big problem in old subdivisions with big trees. They grow down, they break out that sanitary line, and it's an expensive fix. So that's why we brought that insurance group in here and say, listen, start offering it to our older communities. I think it's $8 to $13 a month or something. It may sound, it's not that much money considering the fact that you can get a whopper of a bill for plumbing nowadays. So the idea was trying to figure that out. This was before we even knew she had a problem, because we know that this is a problem in almost all the older subs with trees there. But our responsibility is to maintain a solid sanitary sewer line, which we do. We have one of the most aggressive cleaning and televising lines, and then we go out and line any problems that we find. And we are not done checking her stuff, because if I can find a reason that we did something wrong, I'm going to step in and fix it. Van Buren's going to step in and fix it. That's what we do. That's what we always do. So they will be back out again, I think. Director Lawrence, when are they scheduled to go back out again? Friday. They're going back out again Friday. Like I said, I'm not out to save a buck by making somebody's life miserable at all. But the point of the matter is, number one, we do not believe still that it's our fault. We're trying to find any reason why it could be. We're, that subdivision was built in, I don't know, 70s.
Through the chair.
Yes, Trustee Martin.
And I'm going to direct this to Mr. Akers and Mr. Lawrence. Do we have engineering drawings of the sewer system for Haggerty Sub? I know that's going back a long way. Do you have, the preliminary design drawings, and then the as-built, and then try to figure out what's going on over there?
That tap was done in 1971. It's petrified clay. It runs 180 feet with no cleanouts is the issue with that. So I'm currently working on something to try to alleviate her situation.
So you know where the problem is, but as far as trying to assess blame, if it's the township's blame or whatever, and this is not towards you, this is just for the board. I think that's immaterial at this point. If it's a design flaw, which if it doesn't have a clean out, then 180 feet of sewer line without a clean out is probably a design flaw.
Yes, anything between 80 and 100 feet should have a separate clean out outside of the house.
I know. Okay.
All right. Anybody else in the board want to make comment? Okay. Can I call for adjournment? Mr. Boynton?
I make a motion for an adjournment.
Mr. Frazier? I have a motion by Trustee Boynton, supported by Trustee Frazier. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.